What's up, Union Arena players? This is Kyle D, better known as Universities, and we are going to be going over our good decks. Actually, we're going to be talking about all the new pretty toys that you can build with all the cards that you can pull from the new Code Geass set. So without further ado, let's get into the video and talk about it. So quick little segment into this. If you guys don't know, this video will be sponsored by Red Riot Games. They will be loading up singles tonight for you guys to enjoy. I think you might want to check around 9 p.m. EST time. They will be able to showcase some great singles at a great price, they're telling me, and they'll be able to ship out immediately. So just keeping this in mind, that they have a very good plethora of Union Arena supplies that you can buy if you need to. They have it pretty decently priced, actually, matching up to TCG players' value pretty quickly. So, I mean, give or take, some cards are a little bit more, but that's just because Canada prices reflect a little bit differently. But, if you guys want some decent signals that you can just buy all at once, this is probably a good spot for you, especially if you guys are waiting for cards to cool off. If they're at a good price, might be worth it. But Red Riot Games also hosts 1Ks, 2Ks, and more. So just keep an eye out on that for the Canada players in your hearts. If you guys want to head up that way, they will definitely have some great events going forwards. So I'm really happy to have them on board to showcase them as an option for you guys as well, besides TCG player, for all those Canadian players out there. So let's get into the video itself now. So taking a look here, we have exburst.dev. We are looking at none other than the pizza deck. What we're going to do is the three kind of more gimmicky decks or fun decks that you kind of can play that might be able to do something in the meta. And then we're going to go right into the competitive, best three decks, for Union Arena Code Geass. So this is pizza. Pizza is a little bit more gimmicky, because they are pizza traded. You have the giant pizza and then you have the delivery pizza. Both are going to do something value to you. This one's going to draw a card and then place one card from your hand in the sideline. It's just a filter card, and then you get to switch one AP active, and then giant pizza is going to give a boost and then switches your AP to active. So they're kind of just free value that you want to have, because again, your CCs or your C2s are going to be here. If you have this one is looking for pizza delivery, gives a boost of 5,000, and then if you have a giant pizza in your sideline, it gets another 1,000. So it becomes a 4K by itself, and we know how 4K rush style of decks work. They kind of just take advantage of this value engine, and you do the same thing with this CC. It's a 2 action point, but it comes in if you have 2 or more, play this card set to active on your field instead. 4 or more, it's impact. 6 or more, this character gains 1,000 DP and double attack. So this thing can really cause some damage, especially if you can get it to go later game. Super gimmicky though. Remember, you gotta get these 6 of these into your trash as soon as possible. This leads to being a little more difficult than people think, but you have Lelouch. This one's going to be, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 pizza affiliate among them, and add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. And then you do have Shirley. Shirley's just a decent card as well. It's got one of those, effects that can be used outside of raiding it. So, main, switch to act, resting, draw a card, then place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So it's filtering, trying to get you to the pizzas as fast as possible. And then, when played, add 1 card, 1 red event card from your sideline to hand. So you get to kind of just get these pieces back. I mean, being able to get this back is probably what you really want to do, because again, as long as event cards, this is probably your more favorite target or chess game. But taking a look though, just a generic strat here. You're going to be drawing, filtering, and just doing all the 9 yards, right? Then we do have the fans of the Holy Sword Fighters. you know, Geass. So taking a look here, they start off interesting enough. So activate main if in the front line, all 4 Holy Sword affiliate cards on your field gain 5,000 DP until the end of your turn. Choose 1 card of Holy Sword affiliate card from your field and switch it to active. You know, this just matters sometime when attacking. This allows multi-attacking, which again, we're starting to see as a better strategy to rush in against your opponent. And then you have this rated one that says this character can't be blocked by characters of 2,000 DP or less if you have a combined total of 3 or more Holy Sword affiliate or Kiyoshiro or Geass cards on your field. This card gains impact 1. It's a 35, not bad. You kind of use it to boost up, you know, with him. So just trying to get those magic numbers very comfortably. And then you have this one as well. You know, 4 Holy Swords. They're all focusing on these kind of generic raids, which makes the deck a little bit more consistent, a little bit more powerful, just because of the abilities that it gets. You know, being able to have it generically raid on your 4 Holy Swords, and then you do have the restricted raid, you know, for a deck that's going to be under like $10, to be straight honest with you, you got something to work with. I mean, for players that just want to have a fun deck, this is definitely your cheapest option. This is basically super budget friendly, and I would say probably under $10 very comfortably all day long. Then we do have the Pure Blood fractions. So this one I think is also just super budget friendly too. This one is under the census that you will only be paying probably $10-15 to build this deck, because it's all rares and commons. So, you know, you have Royal Guard fighters. This one is if this character has 4,000 DP or more, it gains impact. If on the front line, this character gains 5,000 DP for each other character in your front line. So this 25 can easily become the 4,000 that it needs to be gaining the impact. You know, the strategy is kind of just keeping your board up there. You have Pure Blood when it's rated here. You know, this becomes a 4K double blocker, and we know how that works up. And then you have her special Corlina fighter, the main antagonist sister here. So if you are playing her, she gets to do, you know, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 green character with 2 or less energy requirement and 1 AP among them, set it to resting on your field, then place the remaining cards at the bottom deck in any order. It's kind of funny that we do have like an Unohana-esque effect for a 4 cost. You know, you get to play it for, you know, resting on your field, no cost, just plays it. Just doing what Unohana is doing for the same exact thing for a lot cheaper. So it's kind of funny that they did that. You know, it's just really interesting. You got Jeremiah's with steps and double blocks. So you have a lot of possibilities of what you can do with this. You know, this is military buildup. Your special trigger, choose 1 character with 1,000 DP or less on your opponent's front line, sideline it, add 1,000 DP for each character in your front line. So this thing starts at 1,000. If you have a full board, you can remove a 5K very comfortably. You know, all hail Britannia. All your Holy Emperor affiliate cards on the field gain 1,000 DP until the end of turn. Choose 1 character on your front line. It gains impact. And if Charles Z. Britannia is on the field, draw a card. I don't think we're playing Charles. I think I didn't really care for the extra draw because, again, you're just trying to do impact for game shenanigans, and that's just where we want to go. And then unit maintenance is just a searcher card for your special ops head trailer card among them. Add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. If a card was revealed being KFC or KFG affiliate, choose up to 1 of your AP, switch it to active. So, you know, you get to add 1 of your characters, and, you know, you do have the KFM. They will be valuable, free, you know, 1 cost, basically a 0 cost draw, card that you get to dig deeper. And I think that's pretty decent, actually. You got Liv. I love how that's his AP. Then we're getting into the colors themselves. First off, we do have the Ashford Academy. So using Nanoli and Suzaku. Suzaku's just basically in here because it is an impact boy. But when attacking, choose one of your other characters with 3000 DP or less on the field, switch to active. So basically, you know, the original combo was getting a Nanoli on board that would basically target one of your characters that isn't in the set. She would make it so that they don't get blocked by anything big. So by later game standards, it's just gonna get in those free damage. And now it's not in here as much, which is fine. We don't mind this because, again, the deck is still aggressive as heck. It's gonna do the damage that it needs because of the access to Ashford Academy. This card is just, if you have this on this site on your field, being able to choose one of your characters with 3000 DP or less and Ashford Academy affiliate, played this turn, switch it to active. So you can keep using your Ashford Academies to make sure you can just keep applying aggression turn after turn after turn. We do play President's Orders. We could take this out. This is a possibility. I don't feel super comfortable removing a, you know, AP card just because I think extending plays are really good. But who knows, after some testing I might take it out because, again, if we're just spitting body go burr, your opponent needs to answer that fast, and maybe we don't need to be wasting time. We could easily just spend 1 AP, drop 2 bodies. You know, constantly being able to attack every turn after turn really does apply some damage. But with the Nanoli here, you know, activate main, rest, switch that resting, choose up to one other character with 3000 DP or less on your field. It gains 1000 DP and impact and +1. So again, you could easily choose, you know, any of your lower end characters that might be able to apply some pressure. So even just like Colin here, you could give this thing impact with the Nanoli's effect because it starts at 3000 DP and then she'll become a 4K and boom, you're all set to go. And because of how low to the ground this deck plays, it's caps at 4. So you just use the abilities to really just get that extra damage in. So, and then they do have a House of Horrors choose one of your opponent's front lines with 3000 DP. If your opponent has 4 or less life, you know, instantly becomes a 5000 DP. So being aggressive is what you want to do so you can use this for cheaper. And then you have like Suzaku here. That's just basically when played, play up to one character with 2 or less energy requirement and 1 AP from your hand, set it to resting on the field. So for a 1 cost, get an extra body onto the board. Really interesting because then as long as you have the Ashford Academies, you can get double, you can unsuspend both. I mean, the color trigger for red being its first red, you know, the first couple of red decks, you know, being able to choose one character with 25,000 DP or less on your opponent's front line, sideline it. Not bad for a color trigger. I mean, great early game, late game, it starts sucking quite bad. So just keep this in mind. Now we're getting into one of the players' big fan favorite stuff. We do have Garin. Taking a look though, you do have Gawain and you'll have Gurin. So both, this is basically the Colin Lelouch deck and with CC as well. So Gawain is one of your big boys. This character can't be blocked by a character with 2000 DP or less, so little guys can't touch this card. So when played, all characters on your opponent's front line loses 1000 DP until the end of turn. So this also makes it so that it's most likely not being blocked the first kind of swing. If you have multiple minusing DP effects, it's gonna get in there, right? So your opponent has to play around this. Gawain can easily make your opponent's threats smaller. So if they do double Gawain, you're going to see them drop extensively. And if they drop extensively, they're going to have a bad time. The fact that this can be used by rated on a Lelouch or C2 or CC is vitally important. You know, you have CC or C2 here that says when played, draw a card. If you have if you have used a card with 2 AP costs this turn, draw a additional card. So she's just going to dig a little deeper. Your 2 AP cost, I think, if I remember correctly, what I grabbed is just this Lelouch here. So one of the big problems of this deck is going to be is that you are going to be spending a little bit more money in the product dives because the starter decks are in the box this time around instead of being a physical starter deck, which I think is stupid. Should have been a starter deck. You should have been able to get the Lelouch and the Mark II from that starter deck very comfortably. This is one of the few starter decks that are actually used. So this card cannot be blocked by characters of 3,000, 3,500 or more DP, and your opponent places one card from their hand onto their sideline. When sideline, draw 2 cards. You know, also the Gearin, you have the Collins, but Gearin Mark II is played, you know, choose up to 1 character with 3,000 DP or less on your opponent's front line, sideline it, this character gains impact, so it's just going to be very powerful impact damage. And then, you know, same thing with the other Gearin. So this one, if Lelouch is on your field, this character gains, your opponent must block this character's attack if able, impact 1. So being able to give us a similar effect to the Hisoka, we already know forcing your opponent to block is going to be difficult. It makes them have a bad day because, again, they're going to force the block. So, you know, you can just get the free damage in and remove threats. So just keeping them on their toes the whole time and controlling the board is just vitally fun. And then we're going to talk about the last big boy, and that is Lancelot. Lancelot Suzaku deck is probably one of the best decks in the format. A lot of players are going to be on this because they're going to get off Kurapika to get right onto Lancelot. So if you don't know what Lancelot does, it's a double damage right off the bat. Or let me double check this. Give me the full size. Double damage without any paying cost because it's an 8 cost. It's got impact, and then when play, choose up to 1 character with 5,000 DP on your opponent's front line, sideline it. So again, it's going to deal some damage. It's going to remove a threat, all in the fact that it's an 8 cost. And then if your opponent's not blocking, you're going to deal 2 damage. So this is just a scary card in itself. A lot of players will probably play a more aggressive energy generating deck that'll get right into this card as soon as possible. You're gonna be playing a lot of your double energy shenanigans just because you're gonna need them, you know. So keeping this in mind that, you know, this card also exists as well. She's gonna shoot characters on your field other than, you know, herself, cannot be chosen by the abilities of event cards your opponent uses from their hand. So this can get rid of, kind of just shuts down void targeting, so they won't be able to be chosen. So at least the events kind of just fizzle, you know, that if there are powerful events in the future. But taking a look, the other Lancelot's going to deal double damage as well, but when played, this character gains 1,000 DP until the start of your next turn, and then when sideline, return the bottom ridden character from your hand. So again, if you're on Suzaku, you're going to do Suzaku shenanigans, set yourself up, and then basically you're going to focus on using this one until you get to enough energy to go right into your big 8 play. And boom, your opponent's going to have a bad day. And, you know, the Suzaku just has step. And, you know, as long as you have the female on the field, is on your field, is sideline, you may move this character into your front line. So, again, you're going to be able to block with her. If you block with her in any capacity, he's going to come out, which is not bad. To be able to have a 35k blocker means an extra damage protection. So, you know, you also have Liv and then Vars. Vars is basically, you know, 3,000 DP on your opponent's front line, sideline it. If Suzaku's on the field or a Lancelot card in its name on the field, you can choose 5,000 DP or less for your removal. So I think the deck has a lot of promise. You can do a lot of things. You're just going to be focusing on trying to play the same thing as Kurapika, but you're focusing on trying to get, you know, double energy as soon as possible. The reason why this deck will probably see better will probably outpace Kurapika every single time is that, again, this deck focuses so heavily on the fact that it's automatically dealing 2 damage with both of its raid targets, and then it has an impact 1 for one of its raids, but also deals with threats so much that it's not even funny. Your opponent has to block these things because they're gonna just kill you if you let too many double damages go through, you know. And again, this thing decks just focus on double energy. But what do you guys think of all these amazing decks? Remember, Red Riot Games, they're going to be helping out, you know, with your single needs. This probably at the start of the set, if you guys can't wait and you need them for rare battles, at least you get them all from one place, and boom, you'll be ready, set, go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.